Peace and love, Ready Nation. If somebody can come, sitting on my jacket. If somebody can come into the chat to let me know if you can hear me, because I had some technical difficulties the other day. In terms of my volume. So if somebody could come in here, let me know if you can hear me. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. I know it's like the middle of the day, but I need to come in here and talk about something real quick. Just put a one in the chat. Hello. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, please. Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, I gotta go through that first. Okay. So, peace and love to everyone. I hope everyone is having a productive and prosperous day. I know that you're probably wrapping up your week. So I just wanted to drop this real quick. The first week of January is over. First week of January is over. So as you all gear up to do any sort of administrative process or whatever it is that you're trying to do, I just want to say this real quick because I get a lot of questions in my email of people who say, hey, I sent out this letter and this is the way that they responded. I don't know what to do. And we touched a little bit on that in the previous videos in terms of what to do next. But what I would like to say to you all, for those that are getting ready to do anything, take the time out to sort of map out your strategy before you even send out the first letter, right? So we always want to start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. That's a principle. And that's actually a biblical principle, because when you think about the way that the Most High operates, everything that he begins, he already knows the end. And so we want to be as much like him as possible. We want to know what that's going to look like, what the intended result is when you're doing the process, and you want to know how these people are going to respond. Because the funny thing of the matter is that the way that this system is set up, a lot of these companies are going to come with this exact same boilerplate responses. They're all going to respond in a similar way. And so if you do this so many times, you'll begin to see a pattern, and you'll begin to know and understand that there's only so much that they could say in their response letters. They're not going to go into a great amount of detail. They're not going to more than likely ever give you what it is that you're asking for. Like, they will probably never give it to you. But you want to have your next letter ready to go. Have your next letter ready to go. Don't be reactive, be proactive. So you, even if you have to sit down and go through like a role play where you're the debtor or someone is the debtor and then the creditor, and you go through a role play and put the letter that you're going to send, scrutinize it and put it under the microscope, and come up with a number of responses, every possible response based on the letter that you're sending out, based on how you believe that the company is going to respond. And then so based off of those responses, you come up with your rebuttals. Right? You want to begin with the end in mind. So that way, once their response comes back, you already got your next letter ready to go, because you've already anticipated their next move. This is also a chess game. So for those of you that know how to play chess, you know that everything is strategy. You're already planning your next move before you're already planning, 5, 6, 7, 8 moves ahead. When you're on your first or second move, you want to stay 5 to 10 steps ahead of the enemy. We need to always be ahead of the enemy. And remember, corporations cannot speak. They cannot take an oath. They can't get anything notarized, right? So there's only so much information they're going to give you when they respond. It's going to be the same stuff over and over. I've been doing this long enough to see that it's the same old stuff over and over. It's the same stuff over and over. So when you go into the credit repair course, there's a reason why those second step letters are there. And there's a number of different ones based on different scenarios for a reason, because they're going to respond in different ways. It's always, you know, they're always going to respond with some sort of template response depending on what the issue is that you brought forth, right? Depending on whatever the dispute is, there's always going to be some sort of template or a boilerplate response. Okay? And it's going to look the same across the board. It don't matter if you disputing with the CRA, with the creditor, the lender, those responses are going to be so similar. So you should be able to go in and look and say, okay, well, this is what I have in my letter. Here are the potential responses that they could potentially send me, right? But in order to do that, you have to know the law. You have to study the laws. You have to read the laws. Any letter that you are sending out where you are citing the code or you are paraphrasing the code, you need to know that law. You need to have at least read that law a handful of times so that you can see what the requirements are. This is stuff that we got to know. We have to know this. We got to know. We shouldn't just be sending out templates and not knowing what the laws mean or what the requirements are, because you're going to get yourself jammed up and you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck. You know, I had somebody send me an email who's new to consumer law, and they sent out a rescission letter and they're like, oh my God, this is how they responded. What do I do? You should know what the next step is based on how the law reads. Based on how the law reads, you should automatically know what the next step is. You should know what type of contract you sign, right? Was it a consumer credit transaction? Was it a retail installment sales contract? You need to know what type of contract you sign and what laws govern that contract before you even send out your first letter. Before you send out your first letter, you want to study the law. And you want to come up with every possible scenario in terms of how you think they're going to respond to what you send out. This is key. This is key, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be successful. You need to know. Why do I keep spitting? Like, what is going on here? You need to know what the responses are going to be. Begin with the end in mind. Always, always, always. Begin with the end in mind. Right? I know we're trying to get stuff done. I know we have a sense of urgency about stuff, but let me break something down to you. Let me break something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know that video floating around. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something real quick. Anytime that you have thoughts in your mind where you feel rushed or you feel like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and you feel rushed, that's the enemy. That's the enemy. When you can't get organized, you can't get your mind together, you can't separate your thoughts, that's the enemy. Because let me tell you, the Most High does not cause confusion. The Most High sometimes is slow to move. The Most High is going to send you things to keep you at peace. Anytime that you feel rushed, you have anxiety, you have stress, you have fear, that's the enemy. That's the enemy. That is the enemy. And so that should bring you pause. It should bring you pause and cause you to take a step back and slow down so that you can really understand what's going on. You need to understand what is going on, right? And so we also have to understand that we're at a spiritual warfare. We are in a spiritual warfare. And so we have to really discern if the voice that we're hearing in our head is from the Most High or if it's from the enemy. Because sometimes them voices might sound the same. So based on the message that you're receiving, you have to know who's speaking to you. I'm telling y'all, it's deep. You got to know who's speaking to you. Okay? So if you're doing the process and you're feeling a certain way and you feel all discombobulated and you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to structure things, and you're doing things with limited knowledge, that's not God. I'm telling y'all, we got to take a step back and really evaluate what's going on in our spirit. We got to evaluate what's going on in our spirit, okay? So I want you all to begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. You should be set up to a certain point where whatever response that comes back, you already ready for it. You already know how they're going to respond. You ready to go. You ready to go. You're ready to go. Let's see. Yes. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to know. You got to know. And so a lot of people hear rescission and they automatically think that that's the thing to do. But one of the principles that they don't take into under consideration is that in order for you to get what it is that you want out of that car contract or to get back your down payment, it doesn't always warrant you doing a rescission. There's other things that you can do. And then the thing is with the rescission, you have to have legal cause to rescind. If you're just going back and sending a rescission letter saying I rescind, but you didn't really lay everything out, and you maybe went after the wrong party first, because remember, there's a dealership and then there's the finance company. They may be the same company or they may be separate. It just depends. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. So you want to go after the party where it's going to have the least impact in terms of your stress or your situation in terms of whatever the asset is or the thing is that you're trying to rescind the contract on. So it's strategy. I want us to get more comfortable with devising a strategy instead of just sending out letters all over the place. This is strategy. So when you get into these courses, you're not just paying for paperwork. You're not just paying for paperwork. You're paying for strategy. You're paying for having access to resources that's going to give you the ability to strategize, but you have to be able to see that up front. I don't know why my fingers. You got to be able to see that up front. Got to be able to see it up front. Do I have my thing? Oh yeah, I got it with me. So just, take a step back and just think about things for a second before we get overzealous and excited because we have a letter to send out. And definitely handwrite your letters wherever you can and use the paraphrasing tool that I dropped inside of the course. That's why it's there, because I'm telling y'all, the system is smart. The system is smart. When they see all these letters and stuff, all these different letters that begin to come in that look the same, it just goes inside of their database. It goes inside of their database, right? And so they're going to generate a template in response to all these letters that look exactly the same, and then you're really gonna be stumped. Yeah, somebody's car broke down. I'm just saying, y'all, be smart. Just be smart. Just be smart. The letters are there to give you certain principles, but the letters are not there for you to copy on word for word. That's not what you do. Be smart about it. Customize the letters so that you can tell your own individual story. Everything should be customized. Everything should be customized. Everything. Because here's the thing. Let's see, what street is this? I am moving away from conventional credit repair. I got a whole nother strategy to fix the credit, and it ain't gonna be what y'all think. It's not gonna be the same old consumer laws, and nope. I'm graduating from that. Which is the normal part of the growth process, right? Everything that you do in life, you're supposed to grow from. You're supposed to evolve, natural evolution, and move on to the next thing. You don't want to be settled in on one process, because when that process begins to no longer work, then what you gonna do? What are you going to do? We got to get smart with the way that we attack these companies in terms of our communication and mix it up a little. You got to mix it up. You got to mix it up. That's key. Key is mixing it up. Let's see what's going on out here. Sit over here. Sit right over. Oh, this is insane. They know they tripping. That's too many people. I'm gonna have to come back another day. Let's see if this line gonna go down. Let me see if this line is going to go down. Yeah, we got to mix it up, some y'all. We got to mix it up. And don't do the same thing. Don't you all know that they keep moving the finish line? This is part of the reason why stuff that worked years ago don't work no more, because they keep moving the finish line. They see a trend going on with people and processes, and then they go in and change it. That's why the victory that we're having, the majority of it in terms of big money, is on the private side. It's on the private side. Let me see what y'all got in here. It's on the private side. All right, let's see. Peace and love to everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Okay, but yeah, you got to go and read the rescission law, because the rescission doesn't apply to mortgages. You got to go back and read it. But they responded though. But that's not, you're not gonna get the, see, the thing with the mortgages is that you have to go and pull apart the contract. You got to break it all the way down to the bare bones. And the rescission is deeper than just doing the rescission. Yeah, there's other regulatory agencies, Stefan, that you're going to send stuff to outside of the CFPB. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what that is. The CFPB 14-day process. I haven't heard of that. The business law book. Monica, send me an email. I'll send you the link for it. The one that I have is not available on Amazon anymore, because when I ordered mine, it was only like 2 copies left of that one. It was only like 2 copies left. Yeah, AJ, we had a very good private call last night. We were on for like 3 hours. We were on for like 3 hours. When you say you're going with the whole new credit repair process, is that what is in the new course, or will the strategy be in a different one? This particular strategy is not going to be taught, but it'll be offered as a service. It'll be offered as a service, because it's a lot of paperwork. It's the process that I'm talking about is dealing with the accounting. It deals with the accounting of the account. It doesn't just deal with the credit side, but the credit piece is resolved as a result of dealing with the accounting, if that makes sense. You're dealing with the account as a whole. Yeah, info@PamelaTBush.com. That's the email address. I don't know why. This is the sun. I can barely see these comments. The sun is like shining in on this. Thank you. Listen, I was putting on some my lips, boy. That's if y'all gonna watch some of my other videos, I always deal with crusty lips. Especially on TikTok. I got so many videos where my lips is just crusty because I don't put a lot of things on my face. Like I don't wear makeup and lipstick and stuff like that unless I'm doing like a photo shoot or whatever. So like if you look at some of my pictures and stuff that's floating around online, my makeup was done for that specific purpose. Like I don't put stuff on my face, right? Because I have like a lot of blemishes and stuff on my face. And then I'll be forgetting to put on like, you know, like my Carmax in the wintertime, I forget to put it on. So that's why I was putting it on when the video first came on, because my lips, they be crusty all the time. And the crazy thing is like I take care of my body, my lips, you know what I'm saying? I be trying to get that dead skin off, but it just keep coming back. I don't know why, it just keep coming back. I know that's TMI. Yeah. The enemy is the one that's instilling fear. That's definitely not the Most High. So we got to know these things. You know, we're having a spiritual warfare. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on real quick and just share that with you all. Begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. A quad for, how do you pronounce that? I don't know why this thing keep letting me, it won't keep the chat up. Let me see. Live chat. Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Oh, I drink plenty of water. I drink a lot of water. But yeah, y'all, this was gonna be a quick video. So just keep those principles in mind when you're trying to do anything. Just begin with the end in mind. Put your strategy together before you send out your first letter of whatever it is that you're doing. Debt validation, consumer reporting, whatever the issue is, whatever it is, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. I can't say it enough. All right, so I want you all to have a great day. I'll see you all next week. Excited for those that are moving forward with the packages. I'm super excited for you all. Just had a meeting today with the private network, and things are definitely moving along. I'm excited, and let me tell you, for you all that are moving forward with those packages, just let me just say, I'm just gonna say this. With this new digital currency rollout, status is going to matter. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Status is going to matter. Status is definitely going to matter. If you don't have any sort of status on the table, I'm going to pray for you. I will pray for you. I will pray for you. If you don't have any sort of status on the table, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. And I really do truly mean that sincerely. All right, but I gotta go because I gotta hop on the a console, I think at 2:25, so I gotta get ready for that real quick. All right, y'all, peace and love to you all, and I will see you all in the next video. Deuces.